What is up, everybody? My name is Blake, and I'm with Summit to Wellness. This video is here to cover anybody who's sitting at a desk, they're wanting to get into running, and they are overwhelmed by even the thought of it. Running is, it could be good for you. You've never, you maybe ran back in high school. Maybe you jogged a couple miles that one time and it was painful and tiring, but you're wanting to give it another shot and you're just not sure where to start. So this is a simple guide to the start of your running journey. So where I'm coming from this video is only 4 or 5 years ago, back in 2021, I was here myself. I was not a fan of the idea of running. I got there because I had a little competitive drive. We called it the corporate games, and I'll sign up and give my company some points. And through that, I didn't want to fail, so I trained a little bit just so I wasn't running for the first time ever, at the race. So I went out for a couple runs. It was painful. I was super sore, tired, probably half a mile, 3/4 of a mile in, huffing and puffing. But then the next time, I went out and I kind of expected how things should feel or will feel rather, and I went a little bit further, and just that little observation was kind of a little intriguing to me. And of course, I went in the race. I did okay. It was I found it kind of invigorating, putting it to the energy of a race day with a bunch of other people and seeing how running makes them get some form of enjoyment. I was like, it all just kind of bundled up into this thing where I was like, let's explore this a little bit further. So started going out just for some runs, and I started seeing like some of the benefits of going out for a 2.5 mile run, which at the time was like pretty far. That was a far distance, and yeah, in the moment, I wouldn't say that I would say this is fun. I'm not shouting that out into the world, but after the fact, I just had just a feeling of like, one, I felt really productive. It was a good like workout. I'm sweating from it, but also I was like, I feel like a big sense of clarity. I'm able to just process my day a lot easier. I just did a challenging thing. Now anything that follows is a little bit easier. It's the standard has dropped on what I would consider hard tasks in my day. So that leads me into, for you, the listener, what you could do into starting running. And now, of course, the first thing for you is uncovering kind of a reason why. That's like going to be the main thing that's going to get you any sort of motivation, which is your best friend in the beginning. So, why do you want to get out and run? Is it because you have friends that are doing it? Is it because you have your eyes on a 5K? Or is you're truly wanting to improve like your cardiovascular health, and for longevity purposes, and uh, pairing that with other activities. Whatever your reason is, hold it close. Make sure it's strong. And then get really, just curious and observant with yourself on how your body reacts, where your mind goes. Honestly, it's a big mind game. When let's say you've never ran 5 miles before, so you're nearing that distance. It's daunting. You're tired. You're a ways out from home or whatever, so you truly have to run back. Your mind is telling you, I want to stop. Um, but then you also have this little thing in the back of your mind that's also saying, like, I've got a little bit more in the tank, one step at a time, and you overcome those thoughts. Just how that feels, knowing that you can do that is something quite magical, in which I've fallen in love with endurance sports from those moments in my running journey. So you've got your why figured out. And I would say next is understanding where to start safely. You don't want to like break yourself. We're not going to start out with a 6 mile run. So early on, be totally okay with walking, breaking up the run with walks. Nobody is watching you on your run and being like, I just saw him walk, a couple blocks there during his run. It doesn't count. His run doesn't count, and, whatever. So I always make the suggestion is walk for, we'll say a minute, and then run for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Do that off and on. It allows you to catch your breath, kind of build up the mindset to be able to go for that another burst of run. And it doesn't have to be fast, especially early on. So walk, run. That's your starting point. It'll make you enjoy the process a lot more. And then I would say slowly but surely, you're going to extend the running part of that. So instead of 3 minutes running with a minute walk, start making it 5-10 minutes. You'll notice that you're able to go further. Your heart rate isn't spiking so high in that time frame, and your body's learning to adapt. And so the way that your body's going to learn to adapt is through a sense of consistency. So it can't just be every Saturday that you go out and run. We need to do it at least 3 times per week. Better yet, 4 times per week. That's the huge threshold for me, is running more days in the week than not tells your body, we're a runner. We're a runner now. And so we need to start putting some systems in place. You're telling your body that to get better at this. And it will respond. It wants to adapt to things that you're stimulating it with. So start implementing a run 4 times per week, no matter the distance, 1 mile, 3 miles, and just watch as a few weeks unfold how quickly the ease of running a mile starts to seem. And that mile will turn into 2, 4, 6. And now it starts to get fun. And so there's so many different mindset approaches early on that could help you. That's the one that helped me a ton. So another tip I've got for you guys is throw out any kind of ego that you may have around what is running and jogging and how fast you need to be going. As long as you are doing a running form, could be something as slow as 15-minute pace, something that's like barely viewed as like somebody could walk that pace. You got to start somewhere. So if that's what's considered easy, an easy pace for you, it feels comfortable, you can hold it for a bit, start there. And just focus on, I'm going out for 20 minutes. I'm going out for 15-minute run here. So that might just be down the street, 5-6 blocks, turn around and come back, and just build off of that, and don't focus on your pacing. The next is, of course, making sure that you've got the right gear. So the gear is shoes, essentially, in running. Having a pair of shoes that aren't all broken up and are going to actually put your ankles and shins and knees and hips into threatening them with some kind of poor gait. It's going to mess up with your running form. So it doesn't have to be anything fancy, especially early on. So something with some kind of sole that is ready to go. Clothing, just obviously to be comfortable if it's hot out, t-shirt and shorts. Sunglasses, underrated. If it's sunny out, I am squinting. I'm not focused on my running anymore. I'm like getting kind of tired and drained because I'm like squinting, and that drains my energy for some reason. So those kind of things are obviously really nice to have. So base it on the weather. And then finally, if you can have a watch, it's nice to be able to track some kind of progress, especially looking back. So it's like I ran 1.2 miles last Monday, and it took me 17 minutes. This week I did 1.5 miles in 15 minutes. That little growth can be all it takes to really like strike your mind as running isn't for me, into something where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm getting better in such a short time. Let's see where this can really go. And then finally, listen to your body. If you're running 4 days a week, of course you got to rest in between some of the runs, and so you need to make sure you stretch. And if your body is screaming at you, your legs the day after are just fried, take a day off, but do kind of like what we call an active recovery. So don't just plop on the couch for the day and be like, I need to rest these. Keep them moving. Just you're not gonna push them. So go for a light walk, stretch, do some yoga. Just introduce the blood flow. You have to introduce the blood flow for the recovery, and hopefully tomorrow you feel a little bit better to be able to hit the trails, hit the sidewalks. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of a perspective shift into being able to get into that first run. I know it can be daunting, can be really tiring and not enjoyable at all. But I promise you that if you stick to it for a few weeks, you will start to understand what you hear from other runners, where there's like a kind of a runner's high of sorts, where it begins to be muscle memory, and it doesn't have to be hard. So you go out, you're going for a good run, it feels comfortable, you're getting a good workout in, you're able to listen to a podcast or music, it clears your mind, you feel amazing afterwards, and yeah, I just can't picture. I can't picture life without running. So that is my first attempt at breaking down how to get into running. So check out some more videos of mine. I've got some exciting stuff I'm wanting to cover. So look out for that. And I will see you guys in the next one.